Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I could remind the brothers and sisters to please turn off your mobiles and or put them on silent, please, so that we can benefit from what we hear. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يقول تعالى في القرآن الكريم في سورة يوسف: وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم فأدلى دلوه قال يا بشرى هذا غلام. And when the travelers passed by the well, wanting to get water, like usually people get in service stations some refreshment, he shouted. The one in charge of getting water from the well shouted, "What a great news! I found a boy." And that boy is Yusuf alayhi salam. Where we knew that his brothers have thrown him into the well to get rid of him. And we said, yes, we have family relations, but sometimes that family, an enemy can be from within. So that's why we have to be on our guard. And our reliance is only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةٍ وَكَانُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الزَّاهِدِينَ. They sold him. They sold Yusuf alayhi salam. And we all know Yusuf alayhi salam is Kareem. Our Prophet told us that. Al-Kareem. Ibn al-Kareem. Ibn al-Kareem. A prophet. A son of prophet. A son of prophet. How honorable is that? Despite that, he was sold like a slave. دراهم معدودة وكانوا فيه من الزاهدين. They just wanted to, few coins, just to get rid of him. And that is the case when you have a property or when you have something that you want to get rid of, you are willing to devalue it. You just want to get rid of it. Like you have a car. Yes, you may have paid thousands for that car, but there'll come a time when it gives you so much trouble, you just want to get rid of it. And you say, I'll accept anything. And that's why in life, it's not about the money. It's about the value we put on things. The value we put on things. So they sold him, they just want to get rid of him. Because a water boy is not expected to own a slave. He just wanted to sell it quickly. Sell him. وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر امرأته أكرمي مثواه عسى ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وهم لا عسى ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث والله غالب على أمره ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. He said, the new owner, the master who bought Yusuf alayhi salam, look at this advice that we need to remind ourselves with it today. And that is, when you have somebody under your hand, under your leadership, whether it's an employee, akrimi mathwah, honor him. Even though we are superior to him in terms of leading him, yes, we are their managers, but it doesn't make us better than them. They are still humans. This trouble we have in many of our countries, unfortunately, when we have maids and drivers. Look at the way they get treated. Worse than slaves. And unless Muslims talk about that to other Muslims, it will not be resolved. And it will be a point for other people to attack Muslims about it. That Muslims claim to be just. Look how you treat those people under your supervision. أكرمي مثواه عسى ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا. Or maybe we can adopt him as a son. Of course, in that time, maybe it was permissible to adopt. But in Islam, you cannot take the name away from that person and just give him your name. Yes, you can sponsor anyone, but you must not attach him to yourself, because that is stripping him of his family lineage. I cannot take somebody and adopt him Islamically and give him my family name, because that is the right of the birthright of that person to keep his family name. We can support them in everything except this point. Now this point, when he's being sold, Yusuf alayhi salam, you think this is the worst time, but Allah says this is the best time. Why? Because that selling is bringing him into leadership, that exact selling. He said, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُف. We have made it possible, we have gave the capability to Yusuf. And you're thinking, what capability? He's been sold. He's been stripped of his freedom. But that is the beginning of being the superior in that country, to be that is the start. You are being sold because it is the start, because you are going to learn in Egypt, in Masr, how you interpret the dreams. And then the interpretation of the dream is going to be the knowledge that leads you to the king. So sometimes when we are in the middle of the trouble, we think that's it. We are doomed. But Allah is telling us the beginning of the trouble itself is the beginning of honor. The beginning. وَلِنُعَلِّمَهُ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ. Why? وَاللَّهُ غَالِبٌ عَلَى أَمْرِهِ. Nobody supersedes Allah. No matter how fast you are, Allah always wins. You know, sometimes when we speed up things, let's submit this application just before something changes or the law. Don't worry. If it is going to happen, it will happen. Speeding up, slowing down doesn't change anything. Speeding up at the traffic light is not going to change anything. وَاللَّهُ غَالِبٌ عَلَى أَمْرِهِ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. The majority of people don't understand this concept that Allah is narrating to us. That Allah, nobody can beat Allah and raise Allah in anything. If one of us picked up a glass of water, there are no guarantees that it will get into our mouth, because Allah is faster than that. So we need to relax, let things flow, and go with the flow. وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا. When he became strong, Yusuf, آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا. Now he knows, he's been given wisdom. And this is one of the biggest any of us gets, is to have the wisdom. وَمَنْ أُوتِيَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever is given wisdom, he has given a huge amount of good. Because hikmah means you put everything in its right place. Like the way Allah created them. You put everything in your relationship, your speech, your eating, your sleeping, you put everything in its place. The poor, the rich, the arrogant, you put everybody in their place. That's the hikmah. And if you are being given the hikmah, that is the ultimate thing that you've been given. You know when to pray, you know when to do zakah. Hikmah, hikmah, hikmah. آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. This is the way we repay the good doers. So if you are a good doer, Allah will give you hikmah and Allah will give you ilm. This is one of the sources of mastering knowledge, is that you behave in a good way. So the reward is Allah will give you ilm and hikmah. وراودته التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه وغلقت الأبواب وقالت هيت لك قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون. And it says here, and the lady in whose house he lived, Yusuf lived. Weak. He's not the owner, he is just living there. Tried to seduce him. She locked the doors firmly and said, come to me. He replied, Allah is my refuge. It is not right for me to betray my master, the master that bought him, the master that had good intention from the very first moment of buying him, a creamy mathwa. Take good care of him. That's the first thing he said to his wife. Take good care of him. He said, I can't betray somebody like that. How many times people betray us? We give them so much and they give us so little. So this prophet, this honorable prophet, knew that somebody took care of him. It's only loyal to be to that person. And that's what we need to practice. We need to bring that loyalty back. When people are good to us, whether they are our wives or strangers, it is only right that we treat them well and protect their honor, even when they are not there. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. The zalim, the oppressors, or the wrongdoers will not win eventually. Yes, they will win in the beginning. You will see them, they have media and everything, but not in the long run. And zalim is exact opposite of hikmah. Because hikmah is putting things in their places. Zalim is putting their things in not their places. That's why kufr is the greatest zulm. Because Allah gives us everything to the humans and then we thank somebody else. We worship somebody else. That is the greatest zulm. Shirk. To associate partners. That's the greatest evil. Zulm. والكافرون هم الظالمون. ولقد همت به وهم بها لولا أن رأى برهان ربه كذلك لنصرف عنه السوء والفحشاء إنه من عبادنا المخلصين. She advanced, saying to her no, it's not enough. And that's what we face in life. Sometimes you do say no very clearly. In the workplace, at home, among family, you do say no. Yes, you say no. I don't want to be involved in this. Whatever they are inviting you. But it doesn't get there. So she advanced at him. Being beautiful, rich, doors are locked, everything under control. Why not? A man and a woman alone. وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ. And she advanced towards him. And he would have done likewise. Has he not seen a sign from his Lord? Allah then comments on this and says, this is how we kept evil and indecency away from him. For he was truly one of our chosen servants. Allah is in charge of protecting his servants. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us so it may become easy for us to repel evil. If Allah is on our side, it becomes second nature to us to repel evil. If Allah not on our side, we are left to our own vices. واستبق الباب وقدت قميصه من دبر وألف يا سيدها لدى الباب قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن أو عذاب أليم. Third attempt. Saying come to me didn't work. Advancing towards him didn't work. Now he started to run to the door to open it, to solve the problem. I don't want to be in this relationship. but she chased him. She was so determined. Allah tells us this. Both of them raced to the door. Surprise. The door opens, and there you go, the husband is at the door. What do you say? It's so embarrassing, isn't it? What can Yusuf say? What can she say? But because the people who plan evil have got an answer for everything, she immediately put down her case. Immediately. قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا. What would you think? What would you say to the husband? Because he's in charge of making a decision. What would you say to the one? What is the penalty for someone who tried to violate your wife? It's not her, it's him. For he was truly one for except imprisonment or a painful punishment. Here's a suggestion. He tried to violate me. Either punish him, torture, or put him in prison. Here's the answer. Here is the crime. Here is the answer. Here's what happened. قال هي راودتني عن نفسي. She tried to seduce me. وشهد شاهد من أهلها إن كان قميصه قد من قبل فصدقت وهو من الكاذبين وإن كان قميصه قد من دبر فكذبت وهو من الصادقين. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. The witness is from her family. He was standing there with the husband. Now, it's her word against Yusuf's word. What do you do? And this is the situation we face many times, everywhere, even with children. Daddy, he started it. The other one said, no, he started it. What do? You start resorting towards evidence. Because the two words are conflicting. We can't make a decision. We can't judge. So now we start looking for evidence. The member of family of her side is supposed to keep quiet, not say anything, because he's supposed to protect her honor. Is that what we do? When it is our family, we don't actually say the truth. Just keep quiet. Whereas Allah tells us that we should say the truth, even if it's against our family. So this man said the truth, and he gave witness, and he said, if that shirt that was ripped on Yusuf, if it is from the front, the rip is from the front, that's a good sign that he advanced towards her, Yusuf. If the shirt is torn from the back, that's a sign that she went after him. He is innocent and she is a liar. Okay, that's a good formula. Let's check the shirt. The husband checks the shirt, and it's obvious because Allah already told us وَقَدَّتْ قَمِيصَهُ مِنْ دُبُرٍ, from the back. He's running, she's after him, she's late behind him, and she is the criminal. It's her. Now the husband didn't go crazy and shout, because people of that caliber, they have control of their anger. If you are a king or a queen, you don't jump up and down and become angry. You have control, and that's exactly how the VIPs are. All he said, the husband, is, Yusuf, أعرض عن هذا. Yusuf, forget this issue. واستغفري لذنبك, and ask forgiveness for your sin. He's talking to his wife. He's very cool. He's very calm. Okay, some people say, yeah, this is the way rich people are. They don't have honor. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's cheap for rich people to sell their honor. Maybe. But I'm saying we must be in control even when we are absolutely angry. Because that's exactly what the Prophet ﷺ told us. ليس الشديد بالسرعة. The strong man, the caliber of a strong man, is not that you can wrestle someone physically. إنما الشديد, but the strong one is the one who controls his anger, his emotion at the time of anger. Not a normal day, time of anger. That's the test. That's the acid test. Time of anger, test yourself. Are you in control of it? يوسف أعرض عن هذا واستغفري لذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين. خلاص, story finished. The husband, from the husband point of view, you are wrong. I know that you are wrong. You know you are wrong. Yusuf, forget the story and let's move on, as it were. Now, what do we understand from these verses that we read? There are many, many lessons. And I only touch on the lessons that I cover in every khutbah. But the surah itself, it has countless lessons. For the one verses that we touched today, the lessons are you may be destined for death, you may think, but it's not time yet. Yeah, you could be thrown in somewhere that definitely going to kill you. But only Allah knows, being thrown into the well is not the end. So relax. 2, you could have very bad deal. Being sold, being thrown, being accused. Yes, that's part of life. Let's accept it. It does happen. Not everybody around us is reasonable, not even our family. So we have to understand this is what we need to do. That is life. 3, your closest family may disgrace you and sell you and get rid of you and have animosity towards you. And a stranger, very, very far, may say, honor this man. Akrimi mathwa. It's a stranger, just bought it. So don't be surprised. A family could be against you and a stranger could be with you. Also, we should remain in doing good because the ending would be good. If we start being good even through calamities and difficulties, yes, the ending is guaranteed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will be good. كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. That's the way we reward good doers. And lastly, self-control in anger time. I know it is easier said than done. When we say control yourself, brother, control yourself, sister. Say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Get up and do wudu. Sit down. Have a sip of water. All these things actually tools to control our anger. But it is a practice. Beginning, you are angry. You are a young man. You shout at everybody passes by your car. Everybody for you is an idiot on the road. You are the only sensible person. But as you grow in life, you realize that, you know what, I need to control my anger towards my family, my children, my colleagues, and let things pass. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما رزقتنا وأعطيت واقض عنا اللهم شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك اللهم إنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت ولك الحمد على ما أعطيت وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.